Alright, welcome back to the channel. Right, as you can see, we're back on the engine for the Corolla. Now, if you're building an engine like me and you want new hardware, um, save yourself some time and time waiting, and just order the kit from Flows, especially if you're building a 4A-GE or a 7A-GE for Corolla or MR2, whatever car it's going into. They have the whole kit, and it's clearly separated in containers or little compartments in a plastic box. Don't be like me, ordering parts here and there. Unfortunately, I was already too deep in the build. I already had a few parts, a few bolts already ordered through Battle Garage or through Toyota or through Max, and I just needed to a few more bolt kits for the oil pump and intake manifold, the rear crank seal. So I didn't order the whole kit, but like I said, if you're building a 4A-GE or a 7A-GE, just order the kit through Flows. They have the whole kit, saves you time and money. This is not a paid thing, by the way. This is just me trying to give a public service announcement if you're building a Corolla. Anyways, so like I said, I've got bolt kits from Flows. They were kind enough to separate some parts for me that is not listed on their website. I believe the oil pump or the rear crank seal was not listed, but they have everything else listed, like the pressure plate, the flywheel bolts, the intake manifold bolt, or the exhaust manifold bolt kits. Those are listed separately, but the other ones were not, but they were nice enough to separate them for me and sell me a kit. So, so for now, we're going to continue with the engine for the Corolla. So I'll get back to you in a second. Alright folks, so right now I have the oil pump gasket installed. We're going to install the oil pump itself. Now there is an upgrade on the oil pump pressure, but it was already, my brother told me about it, but I'm not going to be running this engine that hard, at least I don't think. And if I need to do the upgrade later, it's easy enough to get to. So there we go. Oil pump is installed. So there's 2 long bolts and 5 short bolts. I'm just gonna throw these on here real quick, and I'll get back to you. Alright, so as you can see, I've installed the updated silver top oil pump onto the 7A block. Next up is the oil seal, and I'll get back to you once I have this installed. Alright, so I've just installed the oil seal, and what I have here is the MRP piece that you need when you're doing a 1.8 4A-GE, aka a 7A-GE. So they've already cut a keyhole in the original 4A pulley for use in the 7A-GE. So here we go. Might need a little motivation to move in. So don't want to use it anymore. Alright, I'll get back to you when I get this installed. Alright, moving right along, I have the 4A-GE, 7A-GE crankshaft pulley installed on the block. I use the old 7A-GE pulley to help push it in there. Anyways, next up we have the timing belt tensioner, spring, which is a bit I got through Battle Garage, and this is the cam belt tensioner bolt, which I got through, I believe, Toyota. Still available through Toyota. So let's get this installed. Oh. Let's try this again. Alright, so as you can see, it's only on there lightly. You need to put the timing belt on to give it a little tension. So, timing belt. This is the Gates timing belt for the 7A-GE swap, and it was part of the kit that I got through Battle Garage RS. Alright, there we go. Pretty sure that should be at the correct timing. And yeah, marks. Alright, so before I can install the oil pan, the upper oil pan, I gotta install the rear main seal carrier. So as you can see, I've already got the rear main seal, the oil seal, installed on the carrier. So I'm going to go ahead and install it on the block, and then we'll get back to you. Okay. Alright folks, so I have the rear main seal carrier installed in the back of the block. I'm going to go ahead and rotate the engine off camera so that I can prep the underside for the lower, or sorry, the upper oil pan. So let me go ahead and turn you off and get this thing ready for that. Okay. Alright folks, so as you can see, I've already turned the block upside down. I've already prepped the block and the upper oil pan, cleaned the area where I'm going to make a liquid gasket. I'm going to use a gasket maker here to make a gasket, and I'll get back to you when I'm ready to install the upper oil pan. Cheers. Alright folks, so I've installed the RTV, and I've let it get a little tackier, not installing this as quickly as you know, as soon as I put that on. I wanted to get it a little tackier before I install the lower oil pan, and I've ordered new bolts. These were ordered through Battle Garage, as well as the flywheel through crank bolts and exhaust kit, studs and nuts and bolts. So I've got a little list of a few things here. It pays to keep track of what you're doing, so you're not spending double like money. Anyways, we're going to running for this one right now. Again, it's a 70 button, and like I said, let the RTD over protected boards on this. So there is a guide on this corner. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pull these things down. Alright folks, so as you can see, the upper oil pan is installed on the block. I've let it sit for a little bit. It was a hot day today, so I let it dry out. Next up is the oil pickup line. So before you put the oil pickup, you got the little gasket on there, and make sure it doesn't move. Okay, it's a bit tricky. I've already cleaned up my my bolts and nuts that I'm using for this, so just a matter of putting it on there. Alright, so let me, I'm going to go ahead and just put the Loctite on there, just so I don't have to keep redoing this. Let me just look so it can be clean up. These guys require a lot of work to spend. Just a little torque, especially the Loctite, it should move. And then the baffle for that. And then I am going to paint this, so this will be for mock-up right now. And the bottom end is done. So, I do have to, again, paint the bottom oil pan, so I'm probably not going to film that. I'll just go ahead and finish up this, and then you'll probably just see the next time, hopefully, I'm pulling the engine out of the Corolla. So yeah, this is basically done. Alright, peace.